for any inconvenience on that matter to any of the public. At this point in time, we're going to go into executive session, and hopefully we'll be back very shortly.
Where we going?
I think we're gonna go to my office.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, we're back on the record. We just came out of an executive session, moving along on the agenda for this evening. The next matter is a special permits for 484 Merrimack Street. This was continued from a meeting in April of 19th, 2018. The application was submitted by Tran Realty Corporation seeking special permit approval from the planning board and various approvals from the zoning board to add a ground floor restaurant with 15 residential dwelling units to an existing building at the above address. The building is located in the urban mixed-use zoning district and requires special permit approval from the planning board under section 6.1.6 for a 50% reduction in the residential parking requirement, and under Article 12, Table of Uses, section 12.1E, for the proposed residential units, variance approval from the zoning board under section 6.4, parentheses 4C for off-street residential parking, and under section 6.110 for minimum access drive width and a minimum setback in the building, as well as this relief is requested by the Lowell zoning ordinance. Just by way of a background, like I indicated, the matter was continued from April 19th. Early this evening at 6 o'clock, we did have a site visit. The 5 board members here were present. The council was present, also the engineer was present. We also had 2 people from the zoning board of appeal, as well as a young lady from the historic board, as well as the chairman from the historic board. And after going to the site visit, we did that early this evening. I'll turn it over from the applicant. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, George Theodoro, 133 Market Street, representing Tran Realty. That is correct. Tonight we went out to the site with the members of the planning board, and it was for the sole purpose of going out and having a visual of the site to go over issues that were brought up at the last meeting. And some of the issues that were brought up at the last meeting was going to be the access to the site through our driveway. And we had prepared through the engineer, we prepared a narrative that we filed with the board last week that has the photographs and the calculations showing that the vehicles can have access with room on both sides. And we had a Toyota Tundra truck and showed that it was able to access the driveway through the side, and that the length of travel is only about 30 feet, as we saw tonight, before it opens up to the rear portion where the parking lot is. And also, we did show that there's a non-traveled way, there's a buffer zone that the vehicle is able to go ahead and travel up to the site, stop with plenty of room for pedestrians to pass in front of it, in front of the building, and for pedestrians to easily pass in front of a vehicle, and then for the vehicle, when it's safe for them to pass, to proceed through that driveway and gain access to the rear. And also, with respect to the plans that have been refiled, we have filed there and showed that we will have some traffic signals at the when someone is exiting the site. We will mark the sidewalk with some striping, some textured striping to alert people when they're crossing that area. There'll be signage there to alert the pedestrians as they come from both sides, so that it'll be safe for traffic flow and safe for the pedestrians to go past the site. Also, there was issues that Mr. Hammer had conversations with the trash and recycling department on how the trash would be handled, and there was concerns about a truck removing a dumpster, and that is not going to happen. As Mr. Hammer had the conversations with the trash and recycling department, it's going to be a trash collection area that's designated on the plan. Each one of the units is going to have a separate trash bin that is going to be there. It's going to be locked, it's going to be marked, and it's going to be removed by a contractor that's approved by the city of Lowell. They have a list of contractors who are approved, and this will be taken out at least twice a week, and as it is needed, we will remove it. So what happens is those bins are taken out, they're dumped into a truck, and that truck removes it to a site. The pad enclosure is going to have a striping area in front of it, which will have, which no one will be able to park, so there'll be easy access there. Also, with the materials that were brought in, there's calculations that Mr. Hammer did for turning radius for a truck with a plow, which shows that it can get in there and maneuver. We did show there when we were at the site, a location there when we were at the site. We pointed out where we would have some minimal snow storage, but also more importantly, that with this truck moving about, we'd be able to remove the snow from the site. One of the concerns that was brought up was the fire department and about possibly fighting the fire in the rear, and that is solved by, there were conversations with Deputy Casey, with Mr. Henry Reno, who's the contractor on this project, and he had represented that if he was able to locate a quick connect for a quick connect hose back there at a location of his choice, then that would be sufficient to fight a fire. And we will obviously give him the choice of where he wants to place that in the rear. As another element over here, this building is going to be fully sprinkled. So I believe that through the narrative that we provided and the walkout to the site that we've answered most of the questions that the planning board had. There were some conversations going back and forth with the building department about the location of the stairways and some of the access, and those were with Mr. McWhite in his email that he thought could be worked out with the building department, and we believe that is the case between the requirements of the historic board and the building department, that they would be able to work those out. One of the other measures that we had talked about before that was a good visual when we went out to the site is that if someone had to, for safety reasons, get out of the back area there where it's all closed in on one side, the grade will be up to the door that you saw on the one side where someone will be able to access it and get to the other side. Also, there are calculations in there with the narrative that shows that with the van size, a handicap van, that it would be able to have sufficient amount of room to move in and out, and the turning radius calculations show that they'll be able to go ahead and do that. And also, when we went back there, I heard that members expressed that it was a lot larger back there than they had originally anticipated. That parking in the rear is going to be to the code, 9 by 18 feet, I believe it is, and so it's going to be this for the 10 spaces that are out there. It'll be the sufficient, and it'll be built to the code. So I believe we've gone through this, and we'll be happy to go ahead and answer any other questions with the board.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'll turn it over to the public, unless you have anything further. Matt, anything you want to add, or is the engineer?
Well, I just wanted to add that we have had multiple meetings with various municipal departments. We formally met with the sewer department to go over the drainage questions that they had. Essentially, the only plan to the change has been related to drainage is they wanted an overflow pipe from the drainage system to go into the sewer manhole that's at the rear of the access area, so we provided that on the plan. Like Mr. Theodore said, we had conversations with solid waste and provided all the requirements that they had. We've submitted the turning radius templates related to the software we have that can show how a how a pickup truck can, which will be utilized to pick up the trash and get in and out of the site, as well as a truck with a plow on the front, and how that truck can get access and egress the site. Additionally, we've had some correspondence with the deputy Casey for the fire-related issues. We feel as though those have been resolved, and we also had a meeting with DPD last week after we made the submission to ensure that if there was anything they felt was missing from our response. And we had a productive meeting that way, and that led to the site walk that we had.
And one other element, Mr. Chairman, is a point there that we made out there again at the visit, is that when this property is fully developed and the rear of the property is developed with the parking lot and lighting back there, it's an added safety feature back there that would benefit the public. God knows what happens back there at all, which is it's all secluded back there, but now with the development back there, we can have sufficient parking and sufficient safety back there.
Thank you. So just at this point in time, I'll turn it over to the public. Anybody here this evening want to speak in regards to this project? Just come to the microphone, please, sir, and give your name and address. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Frank King. 463 Merrimack Street is the building that I represent. I have a hard time understanding how 15 one-bedroom units, which are basically one room each, apartments, will make this neighborhood, is in the best interest of the neighborhood. I believe the developer should consider 4-room units to help alleviate the problem with parking. Take the 15 rooms and redevelop it into 4 units. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else want to speak in regards to this project? Anybody else? Hearing none at this time, I'll turn it over to the board members. Do you have any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Malovich?
I just want to state that since I wasn't at the last meeting discussing this matter, that I will not be voting on this.
Any other board members have any questions or comments at this time?
One question.
Sure, Mr. Lockhart?
On your diagram here with the truck that we looked at tonight, and access through this alleyway, you show a couple of feet almost on each side clearance. This vehicle is not typical of, what about the larger sedans and automobiles that may park back there?
Well, that is a full-size pickup truck.
Yeah.
So we felt as though that was typical of the vehicle that would be coming in. And as you said, there are 20 inches on either side, but the vehicles don't get much wider. What happens is the mirrors affixed to the vehicle can get wider. But we also show that, even if that was the case, then, yeah, it would be a little bit wider, but still would be able to get through the alleyway. And the owner's gonna have to, deal with that issue with whoever's picking up the trash and doing the plowing to ensure that they have a vehicle that's suitable to fit through.
And we wanted to provide an example of a truck that would service this property, pick up the trash, or a truck that would go down there to plow. So that's why we chose a full-size pickup truck.
All right, that's fine. I don't really have an issue with it. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Lockhart. Mr. Fischett?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Just also, you did provide material showing a handicap van which would meet the, it's similar in size with the pickup truck, is that correct? So that would, because we do have handicap parking in the rear of the building.
Yeah, we have one space, yeah.
Right, okay. And then, and I don't know, did I miss it? Did you provide a lighting plan?
That actually got brought up when we met with DPD.
Yeah.
And that we would work with DPD in terms of any exterior lighting
Okay.
that might be on the back of the building. That would all be downward-facing lighting.
Right, because it's a unique area to kind of provide some safety, but also not provide a lot of off-site.
Right. So we'll also, I anticipate we'll have some motion detection lighting on the alleyway itself. So we're not creating a dark space off the sidewalk.
Christine, did you participate any in those meetings, or was that?
I was not present at the meetings, but I believe it was understood that the lighting would be worked out with both planning staff and also historic board staff.
Okay.
So that it would be appropriate downcast and lighting that's acceptable
And
in that
provide
district.
safety as well, yeah,
Yep.
okay, all right. And then, and final drainage plan, I don't think that would require final sign-off by engineering, I think, at this point, right? Is that-
Sewer department's facilitating that now.
Yeah, okay.
So their only, the question that they were fine with the drainage design that we had proposed. And like I had said, they just wanted an emergency overflow to the nearby sewer manhole out in the rear. And we added that to the plan and got that back to the sewer department.
And then the stairway that's referenced, you still have to go before the historic board, is
We
that
do.
correct?
We have to do the actual site plan review before the historic board, and there's quite a bit of work to be done with them. And it was addressed with Mr. McWhite that would be done with the historic board and communications with the building department.
Yeah, okay. And then the placement of the quick connect would be obviously subject to the fire department's final approval, right?
That's correct.
And I know we just discussed, could you just describe a little bit about the signage you were looking to put where the entrance meets the sidewalk, and the striping, if we could just see a little bit
Sure.
about that?
Again, we would work with DPD, historic, as well as if the city obtains a traffic engineer until then. If not, we have a traffic engineer that can help with this. But essentially, we're going to be telling pedestrians that that vehicles will be entering and exiting the alleyway off the existing facade of the buildings. And then we may add some additional signage to vehicles leaving to maybe, honk their horn once before exiting. That also helps alert pedestrians on the sidewalk that, something's coming down the alleyway. And if there's anything else that the city requires related to add any safety components to that alleyway, we're most certainly will be doing as a condition if need be.
And if I could add one more thing, that all of these elements, the signage and everything, and the locations of the signs, the size of the signs also will be coordinated with DPD, and also, just as important, the historic board.
Right, right. Yeah, it's a very unique petition, because really finalizing a lot of that still has to go through the historic board.
Right.
But certainly, I think we want to cover
Elements
the elements
of,
within
I understand,
this,
right.
this decision here. And I know we discussed, I believe it's the thermoplastic striping or whatever, to me, if we're going to condition something that's important, then we should be using that type of material, because it's not something that's going to wear out in one season of plowing. And again, if it's a safety issue, you want to have that so that it's durable. I would say the site plan was very helpful this evening. And looking at the plan as submitted, and actually walking that site in the area behind the building, and also exiting the access driveway certainly gave me better perspective on what's being proposed. Obviously, unique situation, it's a historic building, unique proposal, and to be honest with you, in order to save some of these older buildings and make it work, sometimes we've got to find some, so I'm not going to say innovative, because I think everything that's being proposed here is pretty sound planning objectives. It's just, we've just got to make sure that the site is safe. I mean, I think that's the biggest concern, is the safety in order to allow for the redevelopment of the building, and not to create an undue burden on the neighborhood. And I know the parking, we went through that. I think the first floor use as a downtown establishment, I think will, for one thing, will probably be serving a large part of the community. When you get to that area, there is access to the parking garages. It falls within the prescribed distance where we can consider this. I think we had several options that we could look at for parking, depending upon how you wanted to go, whether you go with a variance, or whether we had some various options. I'm fairly comfortable with what is being proposed. I understand possibly making fewer units. I don't know sometimes the fewer units with the more bedrooms, whether that's going to create more cars or the same number of cars. And in some instances, with some of these studio-type apartments, you'll get people without cars versus the larger units. So certainly that, I understand the concern there, but I think there is some, based on our zoning ordinance, there is options for the proponent, which they are applying under the special permit. And I think from that perspective, with the conditions of the various elements we talked about, Mr. Chairman, I think I'd be willing to move forward on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Snetsky?
Yes, I think that my colleagues have addressed most of the issues and my concerns already, and I think they've been properly addressed. I just say, that this is a unique site, and given the historic value and all, I think we need to have some flexibility in seeing that this, a project such as this can be developed, and on that basis, I'd, be willing to support that flexibility.
Thank you. So I know you have to go before the zoning board of appeals as well, right? And I think that was for the,
Next Thursday.
okay. And then you have the historic board. So I know the concern we brought up before is, the type of lighting and signalization, to let people know that the cars are coming through and out. And I know the historic board basically controls more of that than the zoning board of it. I mean, you as the chairperson who sits on that. So I don't know how we control something in the signalization or the pavement or the lines or with our recommendation compared to when it goes to the historic board. You know what I mean? So we make a condition in regards to what the lighting and the signage and all that should be. And then it goes to the historic board and they say they want it a different way.
I think, we can,
Work in those parameters?
work on those parameters. It may be just a design issue or something like that,
Okay.
but we specify should go forward in terms of signage and
Okay.
lighting or anything like that, and the
Because,
historic.
maybe
yeah,
we're gonna say
I-
one thing, but they have final,
Yeah.
final site plan. And we
Yeah,
don't.
and I think if you make those conditions subject to the approval of the historic board in your decision, I think that is given the experience of the board, I think it's something the historic board is going to take into account. and attempt, and Mr. Lockhart can tell me on this, and incorporate it into their decision. And I think what the difference would be is the historical perspective and how it's going to look, you know?
I mean,
Yeah,
but
just as an example, in terms of signage,
right.
I mean, we want certain signs.
Oh, I know that. I mean, I remember when I was on the
in
historic
certain
board
spots, and
many
we
years
would
ago,
look
yeah.
at it and
Yeah.
look at how that looks and the design of those
Right.
signs. We wouldn't argue
Yeah.
about content, so to speak,
Yeah.
of what's
Because I know they're
being
more
proposed.
concerned about the signage than we are. I mean, when I was sitting on the historic board years
Yeah.
ago, that was a big thing. I know it's been fine-tuned many times since then.
It has, yeah.
And then, Mr. Chairman, I guess I would say it would be a domino effect if we make it subject to historic board approval, and then they can't come to something that they're comfortable with, then all of a sudden it renders the special permit
Yeah, and then,
not in compliance with the special permit.
and if they don't get approval from the historic board, then
Kills the,
our decision is moot, right?
That's right.
In that
So even
case, yeah.
if you pass planning, last zoning, you go to historic,
There's no,
so
no,
you need all three.
I need all three to go forward,
You need a trifecta.
trifecta.
in the spirit of the Preakness.
Okay. I have no further questions. I think might have been answered.
I have none.
I just wanted to make sure that we know the limitations between us and the historic board. And I
Yeah,
know
right.
they're big on the signage and, but I think you understand basically what Jerry was talking about, where it comes out on the sidewalk to really
I do.
do something there that's gonna be
Some
more permanent instead of just paint that's gonna be gone in a short period of time.
Yeah, and the concern is that.
It isn't that wide of a spot, so it wouldn't be that hard, would it, Matt? I mean, you're not really, you're only talking,
No, and, you know, depending on what happens during construction, we may end up pouring a new apron there for all I know. So, you know, but whatever it is we put there for striping will be commercial grade striping. Might even have a little reflector in it, so when the car does come around, if it's dark, it might light up a little bit in terms of,
because even if you made that pavement different than the sidewalk, it would help to illuminate it more than something else, right?
Right.
If you had to put new surface down,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So that way you're gonna, I mean, that'd be a start, and then you
Right.
go from there. Because you're gonna say, there's a break in that sidewalk.
Yeah, we're gonna be putting a trench drain in there anyways, for drainage, so we're gonna
Cover
be,
that back up, a lot of thought could go into it at that point, right?
yeah, so there are, you know, that's not a, that's probably something that'll end up happening anyways, in terms of that apron. But whatever we put there will be a commercial grade striping, which has that reflective material in it, in the paint.
Any further comments from the board members, or, so, Christine, what do we need? We need two special permits from us? One for the reduction in residential parking,
Yes, and the other for use.
and the other for the use? Okay, on the Article 12? Okay, so we
Yes.
need two requests for special permit, okay. That's what I wanted to make sure. Because I know on the notice here, it has another one, but that's for ZBA for the variance, okay.
Mr. Chairman, could we take the use first, because I think
Sure.
it's more all-encompassing?
Sure, absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the use special permit with the following conditions, that the applicant work with the fire department for final location and approval of the quick connect in the rear of the building, and final approval of the drainage system by the engineering department and the sewer department. Lighting plan must be approved satisfactory to DPD. The striping on the sidewalk be commercial grade satisfactory to DPD. Final, the snow storage, the applicant agrees to remove snow from the site if capacity exceeds, or should I say, the demand exceeds the capacity which is currently on the site. The city's trash, I guess the city's trash director
Solid waste and recycling.
Solid waste, yeah, inspector will approve the final waste plan, which we talked about, the bins. And that the applicant, it's subject to the applicant working with the historic board and the building department to remedy the stairway in question in the memo by DPD dated April 12th. And I think that would be the conditions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Anyone want to second that motion?
Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry, Mr. Snetsky, second that?
Yes.
Okay, second by Mr. Snetsky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes, so that motion carries 4 in favor and none against and 1 abstaining. So now we need a special permit for the
Parking.
parking, correct, residential parking.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the special permit for the residential parking, incorporating the conditions in the prior special permit.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's made, second by Ms. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes, therefore that matter is 4 in favor, none against, and 1 abstaining. Good luck, wish you well at the other board meetings.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, moving along on the agenda, we have a request for modification at 42 Lowell Street. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put the mic on. Okay, moving along on the agenda, we have request for modification from 42 Lowell Street. May we have the applicant, please?
Good evening. My name is Bob Simons from SMC Management.
Good evening, Bob, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Want to just give us your request? I know we received your outline that you're requesting. We received material from, that was submitted, well, from you.
Correct.
Okay. So you want to just give us a highlight on that, and then if we have any questions, we'll go forward.
Certainly. The original plan, which was submitted by KS Partners, was approved by the board and as a special permit. When we bought the project, they had reduced the parking structure by 2 stories for us because we thought it was a little bit overpowering. Led us to have a little bit more reveal in the elevation. And we made some minor modifications. In our business model, we prefer not to have full balconies because we find people put hibachis out there, couches, and so what we prefer to do is put Juliet railing so it looks like a full balcony from the outside, but the tenants get to see, you know, the views. We have sliders, so there's a big window opening, but just no place to store things on the outside of the building. You'll notice on the side of the garage, we have incorporated a extruded panel design, which will be anchored to the parking structure itself. We'll work with the city. That'll all be designed by a professional engineer and reviewed by the city. That was one of the comments from the building department. The windows have been changed modestly from the aluminum storefront to a more commercial style window. We had to lift them up so that the windows didn't have to all be tempered glass, so all the window sills will be 36 inches off the floor, not low. And one of the major changes is there used to be a tower in the front of the parking structure. Since the parking structure is reduced by 2 floors, we have handicap access to elevators at both ends of the parking garage, so we felt the need for that tower was eliminated. We have been working with the solid waste department because the original plan that was approved had the trash coming out right next to the front door, which we thought might end up ultimately being a little unsightly. So we moved that around down the fire lane road, and our engineers have provided a fire truck turning diagram that indicates there's plenty of room for a trash truck to come in and pick up the refuse. And in the event there was a fire while he was there, the fire trucks can maneuver around. I think that's the highlights. On the inside courtyard, there used to be a swimming pool, and I can go up and flip that
Sure, go
to
ahead.
show you.
Feel free.
So we find that in the rental community, an exterior swimming pool only gets used a very limited amount of time during the summer. So we tend to not have them. So what we've done is we've had the landscape architect incorporate a bocce ball court. There'll be a couple of gas fire pits, a pergola over one of them, and right in the center is a water feature with a little waterfall in it, and a couple of gas grill exterior kitchens, if you will, so the tenants can get down there. It will become part of the public space amenities. In the lower left-hand corner is the clubhouse, so there's a bank of windows right there, so that even if you're in the clubhouse itself, when you look out, you'll be able to see one of the fire pits from outside. So it kind of ties the spaces together a little bit and encourages the tenants to come out and talk to each other. But I think that's the highlights of it. We've pinned down the exterior materials a little bit with some corrugated metal, hardy panels, Nichi-Ha wood panel. So it's true to the approvals, but just enough difference so that we didn't run amok with the previous architect's design intent.
So then you changed a couple of the bedroom statuses between 1, 2, and 3
Yeah,
bedroom? I
so,
figured,
yeah, so
modification
in
plan.
our business model, we prefer a couple of more 2-bedroom units because it allows for co-joint tenants, 2 guys that want to share an apartment while they're starting out in business or whatever. So there are a few more 2 bedrooms than there were previously, a few less 1 bedrooms, and we don't have any 3 bedrooms. While kids are great, and I love mine, we'd rather not have too many kids in the apartment complexes. And we find with a 3-bedroom unit, you tend to attract more families. And we gear our properties more towards young professionals and older people that are selling their houses so that they can invest their money and live in an apartment complex
We still have a nice community area.
and still have a nice community area.
Yeah, pools could be, they're nice, but they can be dangerous as well, because you gotta maintain it, the fence,
Yeah.
the people, brings liability on, yeah. They call them attractive nuisance.
That's right.
Any board members have any comments, questions at this time?
Mr. Chairman, comment too is from the change in the bedroom mix. It looks like you're having 12 fewer beds, I believe. Is that correct? Bedrooms?
I think the total number of beds actually goes up by 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did I miss this
I don't know,
completely?
maybe my math is wrong.
Because your studios are up by 5.
Yep,
Your 1-bedrooms are down by 19.
20,
yep.
14.
Your
But the 20 more 2-bedrooms, which give
20
you a
more
big bump.
2-bedrooms. And
No
then
3s.
the 3-bedroom units, you're gone, so that's
Right.
8, oh. You had 3 you had 6, right? So
We
that's
had 6
18.
before, correct.
So, yeah, so it's 12 fewer bedrooms.
I'll have to check my math. I thought the previous plan had 333 beds, and we now have 341.
But
Oh, from the net, okay, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, your net result, but,
The net is up by 8.
yeah,
I
okay.
think.
Okay.
And we've reviewed it with our traffic engineer, and the ITE trip generation goes by the number of apartments, and so they don't actually take into consideration the number of beds per se.
Right,
it's units, correct?
Units,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah,
but it does have an impact.
certainly.
And then, Christine, did DPD work on the materials with, because I know that was a big thing with the other, DPD comfortable with the materials? I think they're meeting the spirit of,
Yeah.
as you mentioned.
We feel that when the applicant came around the first time, they weren't far enough in their design process to really have any material information for us.
Yeah.
But now that the new owners have more specific materials, this color is more realistic, and which is why we wanted to bring it in front of you. But DPD doesn't have.
And I
an
actually
issue.
like the idea, the balconies, because the balconies were gonna face the highway, right? There were gonna be some balconies facing the highway, so by taking those away, because that could have been an awful sight coming down the,
Right.
connector. So that actually is something I hadn't even thought of, and when I read your proposal, I thought that was interesting. And then, Mr. Chairman, we're determining whether this is not a material and
Correct.
substantial change, right?
So first, we'd have to decide whether it's a substantial material change. If it is, then we have to go back to public hearing. If we feel it's not a substantial material change, that'd be the first vote, and the second vote would be whether we approve the modification to the site plan. I'll make a motion that it's not a substantial material change to the original approval that we approved.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All in favor then? So we have 5 in favor and none against. So that motion carries. So the next one would be to amend the minor conditions. I would make a motion that we approve the, that we amend the conditions as proposed by the applicant.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Motion's made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. That motion carries. Good luck, sir. I wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Roger.
Do you have any timetable for some of this to happen, or?
Summer, right?
Well,
Good luck. Wish you well, sir.
Good spot.
Good presentation. Thank you.
Good spot for it.
Especially when you get your vote. If you said, back from public hearing. Yeah, sometimes we have some of those. I mean, sometimes minor things when it comes before staff, we request it comes back to us, especially when this has come in a couple of times before us, you know. It was just one minor thing, but usually, you know, when we have a breakdown like this, we feel more comfortable seeing the whole thing. And then when we go out and look at it, say, did we approve that? You know, but, no, thank you, we appreciate that, yeah, I mean, but basically, you know, I mean, the main thing, you know, the building exterior is staying the same, the traffic flow's gonna stay the same. We spent a lot of time on that in the past, on multiple meetings and all that stuff. And then they brought it down, the parking with the shed over there, the top of the street and all that, so those are the major concerns to begin with. The hotel has changed, so that's why I have no problem with this. We, again, wish you well, sir. Moving along, do we have any further business or any updates from any board members at this time?
Really nothing from the historic board other than our next meeting is June 12th.
and nothing from NEMCOG at this point, Mr. Chairman.
Christine, any further updates from staff at this time, or we all set?
No updates. I can give you a rundown of what we have coming up, but I'll leave it up to you.
Sure, why don't you do that? So let's start the next meeting first, which will be the 6th
Next meeting is June 4th.
We have, obviously, we have Plymouth Street,
The
which we continue
rezone.
tonight.
We received an application today from Market Basket out on Pawtucket
Yeah.
Boulevard and Old Ferry. They're for a pre-application. I have plans for you tonight.
That's a pre-app?
Yes.
Okay.
We may see on June 4th a pre-application for 70 Industrial Ave, which would be the first adult-use marijuana dispensary. They'll let us know tomorrow. They're definitely going to be on for a public hearing June 18th. We have,
That would be 3 for 6-4 then?
yes.
Okay, all right, so, okay, I'm done, so, all right, go ahead.
Yep, and then June 18th, we've already capped it off at 4. Today was the deadline day, and we got 4 petitions today, so we're not accepting any other petitions, but we have 61 to 63 Queen Street, which is a change of use, 70 Industrial Ave East, which is the adult use marijuana special permit and site plan review, 27 Stratham Street, the definitive subdivision, and 78 to 90, which is Lakeview Ave, the special permit for
Domino's.
parking reduction and site plan review. That was the Domino's that was in front of
We
you.
had seen previously, okay.
And I have plans for half of the projects, and the other half we'll be putting in the mail sometime this week.
Any board members have any further comments? If not, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
made, and second by Mr. Malovich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have adjourned. Good night, and thank you, everyone. Good job. So, you want the tape measure, but not the calculator. Tape measure, no calculator.
I was doing the calculation.